listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Welcome to the one, the only Grave Discussions. I am your host, Barnabas.
Leamas ma I just said I am Samael backwards. It adds to the whole satanic persona.
Yeah, I like that. I had
good,
no
right?
idea what the fuck you were saying.
Right?
So I enjoyed it.
You're like, this guy's speaking Hebrew at me, bro.
Yeah, for real. I don't know any Hebrew, or I would, say
Hebrew.
something back to you. So, welcome to episode number 15. And I'm actually really excited for this one. We have a great topic.
The news
is actually sick. And we're going to have a great main segment for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the next golden age of horror movies. We've had a golden age, and now we're in this weird kind of phase, I guess, of horror. But we're going to discuss that, and we're going to discuss the next golden age, what needs to occur to put us in that state, if we're not already in one. But
I think we're at like the pre-stages of one.
Yeah.
Like where there's like so many new innovative like horror movies nowadays that like some other company is going to see what they're doing and run with it. I think it might be Hereditary. I'm not going to speak so soon because you saw that other movie that's like Hereditary. What was it called?
Inheritance.
Exactly. It's the same thing, So like that might be the catalyst.
Yeah, I feel like Hereditary is going to surprise us. But I think that's one movie that we're definitely going to talk about and focus on a little more,
Spoiler
intuitively.
alert.
Yeah. But we're going to start, as always, with the news. And like Sam was saying, we're really excited about the news today. We've actually got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was out. So Barnabas called me. He sent me a message. And he was like, hey, there's a Suspiria trailer. Check this out. And I was like, all right, I didn't have like too much expectations. Like I said, the movie was going to be good a couple episodes ago. Don't forget.
You did.
You had some denial about it, but
yeah,
I kind of did too, because like movies like don't surprise us anymore with like how like cliche they are. But like this one kind of surprised me. Like the trailer looked super retro. Not one word was said, so that kind of adds to like there has to be some sort of mystery to it. You can't go on.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, you did it perfectly, because like you don't need to explain.
Yeah.
I don't want to see every shot of every death in the fucking trailer. So that was a good job, man. It was just super retro. It looked like it was shot in the 70s, to be honest, like just with more high definition quality. Like the cinematography was really good too. I really liked it.
Oh, the cinematography was my favorite part. That was great.
I don't know. It just looks like one of those fall movies.
Honestly,
you know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
like every fall there's like at least one movie that gets us.
It does, like a U.S. fall movie. But you know what? It also really reminded me of was a Giallo. Like it was shot in almost that exact same way. And I gotta give mad props to the director, Luca Guadagnino. I believe that's
Guadagnino.
Guadagnino.
I don't know.
Yeah, which I'm not completely familiar with that director, but he sounds like he's Italian, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's done other movies that kind of emulate Giallo films, because this movie definitely looks like that.
See, hold on. They said it's not the same footage that was shown off at CinemaCon back in April.
Yeah,
which is described as gruesome and downright hard to watch. Well, maybe they either omitted it, edited it, or they just. I mean, those are the two options. Like, it's either not in the trailer or they like changed it around a bit.
No, because that was like an exclusive audience, so I think that they gave them some exclusive footage.
Yeah, you'd think
like shit that wasn't in the trailer at all, like actual like gruesome shit that happens.
Sounds more.
That's what I think.
Sounds less interesting to me though. I don't want to see that until.
Yeah. No. The footage in this trailer was super creepy, really well shot, and it just gave you this like I don't know, like unrelenting but just really disturbing like tone.
Yeah.
You know, because like
That's
you
what I
said,
liked
nobody
about it.
was talking. It was just all these like really crazy shots.
Bro, when they showed the girl walking, and then like
Yeah.
a bunch of those little kids just walking up to her, like holding hands, were just running up behind her in the middle
Yeah.
of the night. Like, I know they're little kids, but hey, bro, take a step back.
No, for real, man.
I'll
I'll
unleash-
slug one of you
I'll
if
unle-
need be.
The backhand from Hades, bro.
Honestly,
Expect it.
I don't like kids.
Fuck,
okay.
Fuck kids.
Like as a person, I don't like kids at all.
They can all
So
go to hell.
I will kick you into the wall if you try to run up on me like that.
I'll fucking call your parents, and I want to watch you get your ass whooped.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I'll do that. I don't want to actually.
Oh fuck! What if they're orphans?
I don't want to assault anybody. Well,
what if they were just happy orphans? Hi, lady, and she's like, "Get these fucking creepy
you
ass
know,
orphans away from me! It's 4 a.m.
I don't actually want to assault anybody.
Of course
But
not.
yeah, I mean,
This is all satire.
I would, yeah.
Disclaimer.
I would.
Disclaimer: everything is satire.
Like, just don't run up on me like that. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, bro.
So it was great.
Barnabas is jumpy, bro. You don't want them fangs to come out.
Oh yeah, no. I'll suck you dry.
Pause. Pause.
I said that on purpose, obviously, to elicit a reaction.
Great job.
Watch out! I'm revealing all the secrets of podcasting right here,
There we go.
and of comedy. So, Suspiria, the remake.
That was a good joke.
Thanks.
You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
You're
Shut up.
explaining comedy.
Yeah.
You're not funny.
Anyway, your face is funny.
Damn.
And Suspiria comes out November 2nd, so that's like really close to Halloween. It's like right after Halloween, so we're gonna be spoiled this Halloween for sure.
Yeah.
At least with just those two movies.
Just with Halloween, Suspiria.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is supposed to come out. Trick or Treat, maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know if that was this year or next. But it's been 10 years, so.
Yeah, it's been way too long. So I'm excited for that to come out.
Summer horror is
I'm
never
super
as
excited.
good as fall horror.
Yeah, it really isn't, because like you're not really in the spirit. Get it?
Yeah.
in like the summer, because you just fucking want to like, yeah, I'm gonna go drink a whole bunch of margaritas and go to the beach. Like, okay.
I don't think anyone drinks a whole bunch
I
of
don't know.
margaritas to go to the beach.
I mean, I don't know if I would go to the beach, but I'd be down
Is that
for a
what you do?
margarita.
Is that why
for
you're
free.
always busy? I can only hang out on Sundays.
I'm always at the beach drinking,
Soon as March hit, Mark's at the beach with some margaritas.
pounding back margaritas.
Look, my margarita has an umbrella, and I have an umbrella.
Yeah, I'd get the exact same style umbrella, just one is mini and one's larger.
I believe you.
All right, so our next bit of news is, I think this was probably the one that we were most excited about, honestly, is an upcoming Blu-ray re-release.
Oh shit! Yeah.
of
Okay.
The Unnameable.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know what's crazy is like the past year and a half, I've been ranting about this film to
Mhm.
everyone, and like,
When you show
hopefully our podcast brought that to the forefront. Hopefully
Yeah.
someone watched our shit
Yeah.
and was like, "Yo,
watch The
that's-
Unnameable,
yeah." They're like, "Yo, can you guys re-release that so we can watch it?" I mean,
that would be excellent.
I'll do free advertising for horror movies.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
just send me just send me your like, give me like a copy of the movie
Mhm.
before it comes out.
No, for real. But like, you know, the like distribution companies that like remaster and re-release all of these old like classic horror movies, they're really good about listening to their fans, you know, like, because they're not like huge corporations or anything. Like, they want to make money, but they're doing what they're doing because they love it, so they'll listen to their fans. So I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Only 2,000 units.
Only 2,000 versions of the Blu-ray, but then they're also re-releasing it on DVD after that. So if you don't get the Blu-ray, you can still buy the DVD.
Check it out. They got like 2 different case arts.
Yeah, so the
This
Blu-ray,
is some new art that I have never seen in my life.
it looks great, and the
looks
Blu-ray
fucking
is
good.
coming out with an exclusive slipcover, which I'm a big fan of those as like a collector.
Yeah, I love those.
So people will snatch that shit up right away, but
Oh, I'm definitely gonna be like one
Yeah.
of the first 20 people.
But I mean,
I'm gonna go out on a hunch and say I'm gonna be one of the first 5 people to pre-order this.
I hope so. I've been keeping up pretty good lately on buying like all the, you know, rarer stuff, like, you know, like the Flatbush Zombies album.
Yeah,
I pre-ordered that. I got their signatures on it again.
I did that
was
with
cool.
3001. I didn't do that this year. I got the 3001 in my car.
I have both, so you know, it's pretty cool for me. So I would love to get one of those Blu-rays. It does not give a release date yet for this product, but hopefully it's soon. The company that's actually doing it is called Unearthed Films, and
like
they have
that.
some really low key stuff that they've done. So
Yo, maybe we should check Offerings, because maybe
Yeah.
that's from the same guys.
I don't know. I did look at what
'Cause, I
they
mean,
have, but
None of these movies got like, I don't think these old movies have any copyright on them whatsoever.
yeah, probably
Up
not.
until they're re-released on Blu-ray, you know, because
Yeah.
now it's like the modern era, and whoever got a hold of those can
Mhm.
pretty much do what they want at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the Unnameable is so like low key that I wouldn't be surprised if a company like this got a hold of it, you know, because there's probably been other people who haven't seen the movie at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw some of the reactions, and they were just really excited about this. So this movie has a lot of cult, you know, followers like us. So that's really exciting. Be on the lookout for that by Unearthed Films. If we get a release date, we'll definitely let you guys know. And now next, probably your favorite bit of news,
Oh man,
Halloween.
bro, the trailer is coming out this Friday. I can't wait. I saw some of the stills of Michael,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not that giant Michael Myers. He's like maybe like 5'11", 6 foot again. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And like I like the mask because it looks like the Dick Warlock mask from Part 2,
Mm-hmm.
but like it has some weathering on it, but not like that really like over dramatic Rob Zombie weathering, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but I'm really excited. So Jason Blum of Blumhouse, who are producing the movie that's scheduled to come out October, is it 31st or is it like 17th or something like that? I'm not sure. I
What
don't
is it?
remember. Halloween, the release date.
Oh, I think it's like late teens in October, I believe.
Like 17 or something like that.
That's what I was thinking, maybe 18. I don't know. It was
Yeah,
one of those
one
days
of
for
those.
sure.
Yeah. So.
But I've been greatly excited about this. I mean,
Mhm.
I remember when it was 2007 and the Rob Zombie one came out, and initially I really liked it as its own film. Obviously, I still do kind of, but I still blame Rob Zombie for kind of like the death of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Myers. Kind of, it's been, and then Halloween 2, he said die.
Yeah.
And everything was just like, after I saw Part 1, I was like, okay, that's it. You know,
Mhm.
automatically to me, Halloween 2 became like, the remake at least became like not canon to me because like all of like the extra shit they did. Like, I just thought like,
Mhm. It just wasn't necessary.
it wasn't like the first one did really well, and like I would have been so happy with that, you know, because like at least if like the whole film like everyone was like really like druggies and like white trash or whatever, like that demographic, like I mean like that part was bad, but like Michael Myers himself was dope, you know. Like, he is in every film, and that's really why people watch it. No one watches a Michael Myers or a Jason movie to be like, yo, I'm trying to watch a good movie. No, you're trying to see the killer.
Yeah, he's just so much more menacing in like the first remake movie, you know. But
in the second one, he looked like a hobo.
Yeah, he did. I didn't like that, like at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. They fucked it all up.
But yeah, look out for that. I mean, I'm sure that you guys have already heard this. Even in like the non-horror world, this is getting like attention. You know, you just see like little things like Halloween trailer coming Friday, like everywhere. So you can't miss this. So be on the lookout for that. And then yeah, like Sam was saying, there's new exclusive stills from the movie as well. There's like 3 came out I think yesterday or something.
Yeah, there was the one
and there was one today which I haven't seen, but
there was one the hand was coming through the glass at Laurie, and then another one of Michael standing in a closet, and then another like angled close-up of his face. So it was pretty dope.
Yeah, those looked really cool. And then apparently one came out today, so you can find those literally anywhere. Just go check it out and be on the lookout. Friday, it's 2 more days for the trailer officially to October's re-release of Halloween. So
nice.
That's really cool. However, I just wanted to mention one thing. They are apparently planning to reshoot some stuff coming up.
Oh?
I think like the finale, because people didn't like it apparently.
Oh yeah, I heard.
So yeah,
it probably was a good ending, but people are just being really jaded at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see how that would be, because they're like, it's not perfect, so fuck it, I don't like it.
Because there's been a lot of good movies with questionable endings, but they were still good endings, like Angel Heart.
Agree. Yeah.
976 Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those left on like a. I mean, a open and closed note, you know, like in a way.
Yeah, sort of a cliffhanger almost, but not really.
Like you kind of have to figure out what happens.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see how that is. I mean, as long as they don't like wreck like more of the movie, then I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
If it's way better than the original trailer that they had, or the finale, I'm all for that. So
yeah, same.
We'll see. This next bit of news comes also from another remake, and as you guys may be aware, we actually talked about it on a previous episode, but Pet Sematary is supposed to be getting a remake as well.
I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
Because I really like the original 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So was there ever 3?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But this was one of those older like cult films that, like, honestly, you'd be surprised if it didn't already get a remake just because it's so popular, but it really hasn't. So they're going to be adapting it into, you know, modern filmmaking. So I'm pretty excited about that because the first movie was really creepy. So if they can pull off that same thing, then, you know, I think it'll be good. But
I think anyone can like pretty much make a good movie out of the story with Pet Sematary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's now you have jump scares and everything, and honestly, sometimes they're necessary. And like, I think since it's a newer movie, we're definitely gonna have like a bunch of those.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always a bad thing, I don't think.
I think if they're like really effective, then jump scares can have a place. I mean, you know, it is.
I think the suspense leading up to the jump scare matters. I don't think like.
Me too.
I don't think the movie's just garbage because it has a jump scare. Like, if you gotta wait for like a minute and a half to just walk through a hallway, there's no score playing, and then out of nowhere a door swings open, you see like a demon, it's like like, and it's in your face. That's good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like that.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at the theater, I'm sitting there with my fucking ears closed because I'm a bitch. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, but I don't like it when it just happens like out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like you have no idea. There's just fucking like Britney Spears playing in the background, and the
I
demon
like that
pops
though
out.
because like you're kind of bored watching a horror movie until some shit starts going off, but it is
That's
always
fair.
just like out of the blue. Like I don't know, but like I said, there has to be like a reasonable amount of suspense. Those out of the blue ones are funny to me. Like, look at the theater when everyone gets jump scared. Everyone looks around and they start laughing at each other.
Yeah, exactly. No, I want people to leave my movie like having deep psychological problems. Like
I want grown motherfuckers to check under the bed after they watch some shit, you know?
Or like look at something and just be distressed.
Start praying for the first time in 15 years. You know,
Right.
God, if that's real. Like fucking assholes.
Exactly. No, that's actually a great point. But Pet Sematary has been casting people left and right.
Ooh.
They first announced John Lithgow, who is excellent. Jason Clarke as the new Lewis Creed. Somehow I'm not surprised by this because Jason Clarke keeps finding himself in like all these big horror movies now.
That's true.
For some reason. So I'm not surprised at all.
You're not going to find yourself by being the guy who's always looking for himself in every movie. That's not your purpose.
He's such a dad though, so this role fits completely. And then we have the new Rachel Creed, who is the wife to Jason Clarke's Lewis Creed, is going to be played by Amy Seimetz. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
She's from Aliens. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the newest one, Alien Covenant. So
I haven't seen it. Have
pretty
you?
Exciting. I have, yeah.
You've seen all of them, haven't you?
Yeah. Alien Covenant was pretty alright. I don't quite remember her character, but so I'd have to watch it again. But I know she was in it.
That's how I was with the Predator movies, except I didn't watch AVP Requiem.
I did.
How was it?
Nah.
How was the original one though? I like the original.
The original Alien vs Predator.
Yeah.
It's like one of my like what do you call those? Like guilty pleasure movies.
What do you mean guilty pleasure?
You know,
movies?
like I'm like, I know it's pretty bad, but honestly, every time it's on TV, I'm like, oh shit, sweet Alien vs Predator.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
I'm like, because it's such a fun movie. So I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion of it. But that, you know, a lot of people really don't like it. So that's why it's kind of a guilty pleasure because it's like, I'm not really sure if I'm ready to tell a bunch of these strangers that I like AVP, even though I'm telling like all of you. But that's just how I feel about it.
I feel you, bro. No, there's just some stuff you just got to keep it bottled up, let it kill you.
Yeah, like, hey, what's one of your favorite horror movies, man? I'm like, hey, Alien vs Predator.
I'm gonna be sitting there like,
and they're like, they're gonna look you know what? My mom's dying across the street. I gotta go.
Right?
Like, damn, what did I say?
I don't know. One of my guilty pleasures is this movie called Cutthroat.
Yeah,
it's independent. People thought it sucked. I think those people suck, and I think it's good. It's also called Scared,
Sure.
aka Cutthroat. Came out in 2002. If you get your hands on that, you let me know. Hey, and if whoever's remaking all these horror movies on Blu-ray, whoever's re-releasing them, if you're listening to us, Cutthroat, bro, bring the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I gotta show Barnabas.
I get behind that. Oh yeah, you've been telling me about it for a while, and I really want to see it.
It came out like, you remember that movie where I think it was called Final Cut. You remember we watched it? Like the ghost of the movie's killing people. This one's kind of like that, except it's not a ghost. Like actual cast members are getting killed.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a phone call, kind of like scream, like, "Is this Hester?
Yeah,
Hester Prime." That's what the killer sounds like. But like, he got this weird like scarecrow mask. Like, and it's just. I just want you to see it, bro.
Okay. No, it sounds good.
I gotta find the DVD somewhere.
The DVD.
DVD's been outdated. I didn't even get a Blu-ray player when DVDs became outdated, and I still stopped buying DVDs because they were outdated.
Yeah.
Instead of buying a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, no, that I did that too for a while until I got the Blu-ray player I have now, and now I buy pretty much only Blu-rays.
I just hate how Blu-rays are like $30 a piece. And you go to Walmart and
I just look for all the deals. Like if they're not like under $20, then
can Blu-ray players play DVDs too?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I might as well throw a DVD player.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that up to date with because I don't give a shit. You know, like I'm like the Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah. Like this is easy. It's just all on here.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, collecting is weird, bro. Like you got to know all the like trends in the market. As weird as that sounds, like the trends in the market, you know, like what's going to be widely in stock, what's going to have like a special edition, what's like shit like that. Like, hey, is this new Arrow Films title going to be restricted to like 1,000 copies or whatever, like, shit like that.
Yeah.
Or like only in the US or only in the UK. What were the regions? Like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh man.
Like when I was looking for Ceremony by Joe Castro.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've been looking for it since I was in first grade.
You had that Spanish fucking shit, right?
No, I think it was like French or some
French,
shit.
yeah, or something.
And I bought it from Thailand, so
yeah.
I don't know how the fuck that works. But
maybe it was in Thai.
I showed Joe Castro. I got into contact with him, the guy who directed it, and I showed him, and he's like, "Holy shit, I've never seen that before."
Yeah, it's probably some super bootleg shit. I don't know, but anyway, be on the lookout for Pet Sematary. I have no idea when there's gonna be like a trailer dropping, but if Halloween's is coming out now, I mean, maybe soon.
Hopefully.
But the last final bit of news is
Freddy.
Really quick. Yeah, happy birthday to none other than the legend Robert Englund.
I'm truly sad. Like I didn't know he was that old.
I know, right? It's like weird.
We just lost Wes Craven. I'm gonna ask God to chill.
Yeah, for real. Like, can you hold off for another like 20 years at least for him to come back for one more Freddy film as like an old ass Freddy?
We need 3 more Freddys. That's
we need just not with Jackie Earl Haley again. Fuck that shit.
No, that guy's
he's a great actor. Terrible Freddy. I think it was just the fucking the mannerisms and like the makeup and shit.
He was really like stoic and like weird. It's like it wasn't weird. Freddy.
Yeah, because Freddy is like terrifying, but he's kind of like loose about it, He's like, let me tell you a joke before I fucking kill you.
He always had some shit to say. There's nothing to fear but fear himself.
Like, he's got all the great one-liners.
And he's in that one girl's dream in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
He's, oh my God. He's like, this is God. Like,
yeah, he always had to say something.
He was like inexplicably like evil in the original movies, and in the new one he's like a pedophile.
Yeah,
that's not what he was. Freddy's a child killer, not a.
See, if you're gonna reboot a movie, at least keep shit like that the same.
Yeah, bro.
Don't why change it?
Now we can't like Freddy because he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and
I don't want to know that he like.
You know what else is bad? In Dead by Daylight, the video game, that's the Freddy they gave us. Him. They didn't give us Robert Englund.
I know. I was so disappointed.
No one can beat the GOAT, bro. Robert Englund, like.
Yeah.
I know it was his last Freddy movie, Freddy vs. Jason. I'm so glad he was in that, and.
Me too.
Not anyone else. They couldn't do it right. He has all that energy as Freddy, bro. It feels like it's just like another persona of Robert Englund.
It's a part of him. Yeah. Honestly, like it's his other half.
If he just walked around all day with the Freddy makeup and costume and like interacted with people the rest of his life, like if he went crazy, I'd be down, bro. I'd hang out with him like all day.
All day, every day.
I'd be like, bro, can you like autograph like everything in my house so I can sell it? Like
my whole body.
Can you autograph this kidney? That is mine.
Oh man, yeah, he's such a god. So happy birthday, Robert. And
Happy birthday, dog.
Yeah, please make another Freddy film for
You gotta
us.
appear in one more.
Yeah,
We don't need that.
Even as like a cameo, I don't care.
Right?
But just be Freddy. So yeah, that's it for the news today. I thought that was all like excellent. So if anything else happens, we'll cover it for you guys. Let us know what you think about all the news. It's a good time to be a horror fan, I'll say that much.
Oh yeah.
And so now we're going to move on to none other than the Cult Corner. And today's Cult Corner is going to be about a very, I feel like, underlooked but supremely incredible horror film known as Angel Heart.
Starring the legends Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of weird that they haven't been in more movies together.
Rourke outdid him in this movie, though.
Bro, I think I put it in the notes. I think that this is Mickey Rourke's greatest role in his career.
Besides, like, The Wrestler.
Besides The Wrestler, yeah.
But in this one, like,
this
one, yeah, I know, but, like, this one, he was, like, super, like, emotional. Like,
oh, yeah.
He went from being chill to, like, losing his fucking mind.
Because toward the end of the film, he was basically having like a psychotic break. Like,
yeah, he just realized he's not who he thinks he was for the past 12 years.
Yeah, the cinematography as the story progressed just became like so much trippier, like the whole time, because you know he couldn't quite get a grasp on like what was happening and like who he was, and so he just basically fucking broke.
Yeah.
And so, but the cinematography and the score and everything reflected that, which is one of my favorite parts about the film. But so the role itself called for this kind of more, you know, chill but like reserved acting at like the beginning of the film, and then toward the end they were just like, you know what, dude, just fucking go crazy.
Yeah, it was just like a whole 180.
And yeah, his emotions were just fucking incredible. Like, he was so emotional. And
we're not going spoiler free, are we?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the movie's been out for a while, so if you don't want to know anything about it, pause it here and skip ahead a little bit. But
so I'll give you we'll talk about it in depth in like 1 second, like super in depth, but like let me give like the basic breakdown. So like a PI is hired by a guy named Louis Cypher. He's hired by him through an agent called Winesap, and Mr. Louis Cypher is played by Robert De Niro, this like really like eccentrically creepy dude. Like he has like a pentagram ring, he has sharp nails that can tear through like tree bark.
Yeah.
And he's got a weird man bun and a beard and a cane, and like he's talking to Harry Angel, who is Mickey Rourke, and he's asking him like if he's ever heard of this one guy, and then he asked him about his military experience and like him serving, you know, and then what's his name, Harry Angel agrees to, you know, go look for this guy. But as he's investigating like these people that were allegedly tied to this guy Johnny Favorite that he's looking for, all of these people that he goes to investigate, after he's done like snooping around and talking to them, they end up dead. So he ends up like a murder suspect, so they tell him to stay in town. I think he was in New Orleans. And so basically near the end we find out, he mentioned at the beginning, Harry Angel did, that he had amnesia from the war. So I kind of put that together, that spoiler alert, Harry Angel is Johnny Favorite. He had surgery, facial surgery, and he does not remember like what happened to him, and he started a fake life, living as Harry Angel, the guy whose heart he cut out and killed so that he could have extra time before Satan has to come down and claim him, because Satan
made a deal.
Yeah, they made a deal that his like band would get big, you know.
Yeah.
It was him and Toots. They were in a band
Toots
together.
Sweet, yeah.
And at the end we find out that Mr. Louis Cypher is in fact Satan himself,
Lucifer,
and that Harry Angel is Johnny Favorite. And it was weird because like he fucked his own daughter and he didn't know it.
Yeah.
That was so fucked when I found that out. That was like,
That was heartbreaking, honestly. Like, I felt it in here, you know?
Yeah, bro. I got sick,
fucked
bro.
up. Yeah, for real. But I wouldn't, honestly, going into the movie, I wouldn't expect that kind of an ending.
I wouldn't.
It just fucking slaps you in the face. Like, hard as shit.
When he finds out that he's the guy he's looking
Yeah.
for, bro.
That was such a good
Apparently
plot
this
twist.
was like a book beforehand.
Yes, exactly. So let me pull it up real quick here. So it was based on a book called Falling Angel from 1978, written by William Hjortsberg, which is basically the exact same premise. So it was really an adaptation. But I mean, honestly, you can't really name off that many good like book adaptation to movie. But this was fucking phenomenal. I never read the book, but the movie was just so good.
I don't even know how I found out about this movie. I think I was.
I'm glad you did.
I think I was just looking through like De Niro's like filmography.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for that movie where he plays that grandpa and he's like a fucking douchebag.
Oh yeah.
Was it
Bad Grandpa, or was it Bad Grandpa?
Yeah, not Bad Grandpa. It was like Dirty Grandpa.
Oh yeah.
So like I was trying to look for the name of that movie because I wanted to watch something funny, and then I just ended up looking through all his shit, and I found this movie, and apparently like it had a cult following, and then I became one of its cult followers. Like,
yeah. I mean, me too. I had no idea about it until you told me, and then we just sat down and watched it, and my mind was blown. Like the story was crazy. The story was so good. Like
there was so many twists. Like you would not have known that Harry, aka Johnny, killed all those people while he was investigating them, and they just didn't show it. Like because he was like hallucinating, something else was happening. Like he was just like going in and out investigating people, and they just mysteriously die. Like and then he I don't know, man. Like my favorite part had to be that egg scene with De Niro.
Yeah, that was really good.
You know what they say about slugs, and they always leave slime in their tracks. You know what he was saying he was doing?
What?
He's saying he was doing a Martin Scorsese impression the whole film.
Yeah, it makes sense. It kind of talks like that.
Yeah.
But that was probably the one scene where
it's like if
Robert
Satan
De Niro
was a mafioso.
Basically, yeah. But I think that was the one scene where De Niro outclassed Mickey Rourke by far, because that was his part. Yeah. The
church scene too, I would say.
The church scene was also really good. I feel like that was like the peak of Mickey Rourke's like emotional acting, and
it was weird.
That was so good.
You kind of think he's really not the devil, because like Harry walks into the church, and then Lewis is just sitting there listening to church music.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's like, is this guy really the devil? Like,
yeah,
what's he doing here?
Like the movie goes from like, and I like the ominous tone of the movie as it progresses, because like at first he was just saying playful shit to Harry. He's like, you know what they say about slugs, they always leave slime in their tracks. And then we go from that to him saying like, you know, when they were at the church, he's like, they say there's enough religion to make people hate each other, but not enough to make people love each other, you know? And then it got even weirder, like at the end when he finally revealed himself to actually be the devil, and he was like, don't worry, no one will mourn one less lawyer in the world. There's death everywhere these days. Like he went from just like being like jokingly, I mean he still joked when he was like, Mephistopheles is such a mouthful in Manhattan. That's why, because at first Harry's like, you know, even your name's a dime store joke, you know, like we get it, you got the devil persona, like but when he saw those yellow eyes and that he was actually the guy he was looking for, like it makes you wonder, like, did this guy get played? Or but no, we saw when at the end when he was going into his hotel where his daughter was, Louis Cypher was like right outside. He was just wearing a robe and he didn't have facial hair, but he was still watching him. So like there was no hope for Harry from the beginning. No,
it was honestly, it was the perfect ending, because the way the whole movie went, like you just knew that the good guy couldn't come out on top over the devil. Like it just wasn't gonna happen in this movie, because there was too much like fucked up depressing shit. We finally saw him break when he saw those dog tags. He couldn't even, he realized everything, and he was like, I know who I am, say it. That's the infamous line. That was so well acted, bro. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. I miss acting like that. That's why I think we need more of these like really dark, like neo-noir supernatural horror movies, which this was, which is such an odd like blending of genres. but it worked so well because it introduced like the grittiness of the noir.
I swear.
With the supernatural themes, you know what I'm saying? Like that was so good.
I love the score of the movie. Like the score made the movie more atmospheric, and those really low angle shots in the dark, and those little girls whispering while it echoes. And like I liked how De Niro explicitly said like the lesson of this movie at the end of the film. No matter how cleverly you sneak up on a mirror, your reflection always looks you right in the eye. Yeah. Like that, I think that was the whole message of the film, and like at the end it was kind of like you can't run from yourself.
The writing is so good. It's unbelievable. And just the whole like pacing and structure of the film was great. Like you never felt like there was an unnecessary scene, and you never felt like any scene went like too long or too short. Like you felt like it was just right.
You didn't even know, you didn't even figure it out. Maybe someone figured it out, but like until there's like 20 minutes left of the film, that's probably when you're gonna start putting 2 and 2 together, and then you're gonna be like, no. Yeah. And then when Louis Cypher shows up and he tells him everything and explains everything to him, I felt so bad. Like Mickey Rourke's best performance had to be a movie where he's about to go straight to hell.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so like heartbreaking, but it's so good. And I think that's why it's cult, and also because like they were able to adapt the book like so well. I'm not surprised at all that it has a cult following, because it's just, honestly, it's probably just a perfect movie in terms of keeping your story going with like the pacing and the structure of your film, just how you piece it together.
The thing that I really liked, how Louis Cypher was kind of like a nana boo boo character. Like he would kind of rub stuff in your face. Like as soon as Johnny finds out that he's Johnny, when he was like, how terrible is wisdom when it brings no profit to the wise, he was just being a smart ass right there. Like I thought that was pretty fucking funny. Like I don't know, you just revealed to the guy that he just fucked his own daughter, and that he was like the guy that he's looking for, and that he's someone else completely different, and
had all this like just fucking pent up like depression inside him because of all of like the people that got killed because of him. Yeah. Like damn, I'd be fucked up too.
Yeah, it's such a good fucking movie. If you can find it, I found it on DVD at FYE for like $10.
Yeah, it is out there. Yeah, it's actually pretty popular.
It was on Hulu 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it still is. I'm sure it's on some streaming service somewhere. But
it might be on Midnight Pulp, or
it might be.
I think it's on what's it called, Pluto TV. Because they have like, they have more than, I checked the horror section and they show 10 movies, and then they have classic horror, then they have like paranormal movies.
Yeah, they play like Hellraiser and Pumpkinhead a lot, which is great. Yeah, but that's not all I want to see, But I did see they were having like a Paranormal Activity marathon, which was pretty cool.
They have the second one on their little on-demand thing where you can choose from the movies.
Yeah. So yeah, man, all that stuff is out there, but check out Angel Heart if you can. I think it's such a good film. Yeah, actually like one of my favorite like horror movies.
That and like that and Devil's Advocate I value equally. Devil's Advocate, those are like the two best those type of movies.
Yeah, I would like Devil
was fucking
movies like, and shit. Devil was crazy.
I don't know, Devil 2010. That was the Tarantino one, right? Or was it Shyamalan?
No. It was the
elevator one.
Was it M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, I believe so. It was fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
but definitely go check out Angel Heart. We highly recommend it.
Yes,
and it's has such a great cult following, and I'm really
and it's really fucked up. So you'll like it.
Yeah, you will. It's definitely disturbing for sure. So I think that's kind of a good lead-in, because that was a film that came out in the 80s that really actually got a lot of attention. It's on a lot of people's like top whatever horror movies of all time lists.
Every list I check out, it's up there.
Yeah,
even though it's not really,
it doesn't really feel like it's talked about that much, but it's known. Like a lot of people like it. So.
That's because you really don't know it's a paranormal movie until like there's something wrong about Louis Cypher, but you think he's just like a weird mob boss looking for somebody, but he's not.
If you didn't know about it, then honestly you probably wouldn't even be able to like decipher who he is from
decipher
from his name.
Yeah, you should.
I didn't. You kind of told me, so I kind of knew. But if I was just watching it
Louis Cypher
blind, right, I'd be like, okay, Louis Cypher is kind of a weird name, but
then the ring, and then when he started talking about The egg is the symbol of a soul, and then he started eating it and just staring at Mickey Rourke. That was great.
It was so good.
That was fucking hilarious.
So, but movies like that kind of really made the 80s, I feel like, the last great golden age of horror. And so that's what we're going to talk about now for this main segment. We had the 80s. It was like late 70s to I would say like
85.
No, I would actually give it a little more credit. Like early 90s, I feel like that was the golden age.
No, I don't.
Because it was transitioning.
I know slasher films died off in like late 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not all that made it
And that's
great.
when they kind of like took a new direction and started introducing like all these like really strange concepts in horror.
But then they had movies like Angel Heart
that
weren't really slashers, and they kind of kept it alive. And then even like the early 90s had some really good shit, like Leprechaun, some of the further Hellraisers and stuff. Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of when it died out, like 93, 94.
Yeah.
Like around when we were born, we probably brought it on, like the horror apocalypse.
Right.
No, but for real, like I think that's kind of when it ended. Before that, I feel like this is debatable, okay? So would you say that like the mid 30s to about like 45 or like maybe even 1950 with all the Hammer horror stuff,
like the monster movies,
Dracula, Frankenstein?
Yeah, that was the golden age of monster movies back then.
Okay, but would you say that was a golden age of horror in general?
No, that was just like the pioneers of it.
Okay, so yeah, we kind of agree, because I would say that the late 70s to early 90s was a golden age of horror in general, horror movies completely, right?
Yeah, I think starting from what's the earliest one for me would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we still had
Black Christmas.
We had all the giallos, which inspired it, but I wouldn't say that they were enough to constitute a golden age of horror. But yeah, I feel like that period of like a little more than a decade was probably the last great and probably only real like golden age of horror. Because think about it, like, first of all, how much of our own shit today, to this day still, is inspired by the 80s?
Oh yeah,
so much of horror, right?
I mean, the recurring themes in like modern films, the jump scares, the final girl, and all the tropes and all these like horror movies today, and even just the properties
themselves, like all these sequels and all these spin-offs and all this shit. Like, what is pretty much all of that like actually copying from 80s horror movies?
Yeah, they started like all these like recurring themes that like happen in every single horror movie. Leslie Vernon elaborated upon it. Cabin in the Woods really implicitly elaborated upon it, and I think those, if you want to see kind of like horror summed up from the 1980s to like modern day, if you want to see like everything, you got to watch Behind the Mask. Like,
Behind the Mask was great.
That'll kind of bridge the gap. And like Cabin in the Woods will be an example of a movie that was great but didn't follow all the old rules.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, the 80s, the 80s mainly was just such an influential time, and like when people think horror, like that's actually kind of what they think of, is like Freddy, Jason, Michael, like those are all 80s films and characters,
So you don't think we're at like any type of golden age right now?
So here's what I would say. I think that it's starting, and I think that it's actually starting with foreign horror.
I think so.
Because while there are lots of great American horror films that come out, a lot of the stuff, before I go further into this, think about it, okay? What one place, when it starts up doing its own thing, really produces a golden age? Hollywood.
Yeah.
And even though you might think that a lot of these 80s horror movies were like super indie and super low budget and shit, I mean, they were out there.
That's
like,
what I liked about them
and shit, the
fact that like the quality wasn't so great back then.
Yeah.
So it kind of seemed like a snuff film if like the if like the effects were, I don't know, it just seemed like really real to me when people would get stabbed in those older movies. Like,
I agree.
Like the fucking canoe scene in fucking The Burning. You remember that shit?
Because of all the practical effects.
That shit was crazy, bro.
It was. No, I know exactly what you mean, but yeah, I mean, just people went to these movies, and that's what really started the golden age, was people actually going to the movie theater, with like a $2 bucket of popcorn or whatever, and
now it's like more than the movie ticket.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah,
You gotta
exactly.
pay, like,
but before, you know, they could get
$9.
whatever for like a couple bucks. Watch a fucking cheesy horror movie that to them was like, oh my god, you know, like fucking crazy, and they go and they talk about it, right? Because we didn't really have the internet or anything back then. People had to hear it like word of mouth, and they had to go to their friends and tell them like, yo, this movie was really good. You should go watch it at the cinema, you know, the fucking Cineplex or whatever they had, and then they'd go. They'd take their date with the fucking poofy hair, and they'd go and watch it, and everyone would love it, you know. And even when a sequel came out, they'd be like, "Oh, cool! Like Friday the 13th Part 4," you know.
You know what I think is gonna do it again? And like this is just a guess. Like this is just what I feel. Like there's no really logical reason. Maybe there's a logical reason. I don't know, but I think what can spawn like the next golden age, and I think it's gonna be a found footage movie. Either a found footage movie or like some sort of mockumentary. Like, I mean, look what Blair Witch did, and then like the original Blair Witch.
Oh yeah,
like that's like the original. Like, well, besides Cannibal Holocaust, but the one that people knew about, like everyone knew about, was Blair Witch. And then after that, it was Paranormal Activity. Yeah, it's always something like along those lines to make modern horror movies like interesting. Because nowadays, like, no one just wants to see a third-person perspective on a dude just killing people or like a haunted family. Like,
no. If it's honestly, if it stayed consistent, I think we could be there now.
I think so.
But it was so like split apart, like from Blair Witch which was really like the first one, to Paranormal Activity. There weren't really any other like found footage like paranormal movies that just kept coming out constantly and were as popular and as good, right? Like, there wasn't really anything. Devil Inside came out, but that was just one of them, right? Yeah, and that even came out like later. So I mean, that barely counted. I think it came out after Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying like that was like one of the ones that Paranormal Activity fathered. Like,
but there weren't like 50 coming out in a year like slashers were.
Like the 1980s was just a mess of slashers.
For real. So, but they were consistent, you know. People were inspired by other slashers. They copied other slashers, whatever. But they got their movies out, and that's how we have all these like cool cult favorites like we do today. All these like rip-offs of Halloween and shit.
I mean, even look at Jason. Jason is just a very exaggerated Michael Myers. Even the kills are exaggerated. Like, Michael Myers, what it would be like the first Halloween. That's what it would be like if a guy in real life was trying to kill you. And Friday the 13th Part 6 would be if like some evil mummified zombie revenge guy was after you. You know, like it's like fantasy versus reality. You know, like, and I really like that. But everyone tried running with that Michael shit in the 1980s. Like you said, like there were all these fucking rip-offs, like Sorority House Massacre, Offerings, and then what else did we have?
Dude, just so many.
And like we got all these Jason ripoffs too that take place at camp, like
Sleepaway Camp,
Twisted Nightmare. The Final Boys? What the fuck was that called?
The Final Girls?
No, the one on Shudder.
Oh, Zero Boys?
Yeah, that one was actually really good though. That one was fire.
Even kind of The Final Terror, sort of. I mean, it was like a fourth or whatever.
But it was filmed before Friday though.
Yeah.
They started in 79.
Yeah, so that was kind of even like the precursor. It was weird.
But then that could have copied off Hills Have Eyes and off Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So they were all inspiring each other, but the point is that there was like content coming out all the time. Oh, yeah. So it was never ending.
Just
and
Before
that's why
Dawn was just another cannibal family movie, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. I think that if it was more consistent, it could have happened. But I feel like, to my original point, why I think that's going to come from foreign horror is that, first of all, there's a lot of consistently very good foreign horror coming out of actually lots of countries. And you know what's being adapted now a lot in Hollywood is foreign horror movies. And people don't even like know about these movies until they actually come out, which I think is really cool.
You know what it is? You know why I think I don't think that foreign horror can be like the next golden age? A lot of American people don't like to read subtitles.
No. I'm talking about reboots and shit.
Oh, like the Suspiria reboot?
Yeah, there are a lot of reboots of foreign horror, and that's how people actually become aware of these movies.
Like if they made like Blade in the Dark, but like modern, or like, oh my god, Tenebrae.
People would definitely watch that shit.
Tenebrae would be fucking great.
That would be a great horror movie. So we've got stuff like Suspiria, we've got stuff like Martyrs and Inside.
It's not a giallo, but they did kind of fuck up Black Christmas.
Yeah.
We had to watch The Sleeper, which was like a non-official remake of the original.
I mean, it was okay, but I mean, I don't think it was like super special.
The original one was fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Like, he just snuck into like an attic and just started strangling women. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
But so see, that's what I mean though. Like, people will become more aware of these foreign horror movies because there are like American remakes and stuff coming out.
Veronica was good.
Veronica was excellent. So there's probably going to be a U.S. remake of that too.
You think so?
Honestly, bro, probably. But that's how people will become accustomed to these movies, and then hopefully it'll inspire people to make more like original shit.
I hope so.
And that's how I think it could start. Right now in the US though, in Hollywood, it's a mess. We know this.
Do you remember how in like Goosebumps or in like Are You Afraid of the Dark, they would have these like insanely like obscure premises for like an episode? So it'd be like, oh, we got this ancient door. It's like a mini door from this pawn shop, and it takes you to another dimension. Like, what happened in movies like that? Now it's just like ghost, 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 and this is why ghost, 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 and this is what'll happen after ghost, 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 ghost. Like, that's every movie's just like ghosts, ghosts. Why are they here? Satan, demons, demons. Like, we get it, man. Fuck.
Yeah. No, I feel the exact same way. So until Hollywood cleans up its act, I feel like it's not really going to be.
We need like talking
the
dummies.
catalyst, you know.
Yeah, the catalyst might, like I said, it could actually even be a remake that no one knows is a remake. Like you said, like Suspiria.
Kind of.
What if that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like a lot of people don't know about these foreign movies.
I don't know, man. Like, I think people don't care about horror movies anymore because, like, let's be real, it's always just like the same shit over and over for the most part. Like nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I said, here's a ghost. Can we get rid of it? No, we can't. Oh, yes, we can. Thanks, Jesus. Like, we need something new. The Strangers I liked because it wasn't paranormal, but it was like a slasher, stalker, strangers outside movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good for like modern day.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Because I don't know. I'll have to see after Halloween what I think about modern slashers because that's that.
I don't think it's gonna come from that. If they're just gonna be remaking shit, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Like the remake age and like, but they can't all be good. I mean, it is kind of the golden age for remakes, at least. You gotta admit that.
Definitely.
It started with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's kind of why I think that it might be a thing, you know. But yeah, man, I think we'll see. I don't know if it's gonna be slashers because they're not really creating any new original slashers. But I kind of see the originality in movies like Get Out and Split and stuff like that, and Hereditary coming out. So I mean, I think that those might kind of be like the precursors, you know.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's gonna. I have a feeling because like we're so wrapped up in technology and shit. I think things are gonna like. There's gonna be like a lot of social media killer and horror movies now. Like, now that shit's in the forefront and everyone's like glued to their phone, it's like a second brain.
It could be. Yeah,
so
they
like,
have been releasing more and more of those.
Yeah, like Friend Request and what's that other one where they're like the whole
Unfriended or something?
Yeah, that's the movie. That's like where all four of those kids are like the whole movie's just them on like a computer screen, you know?
I think it's Unfriended, and then there's like one called The Den. I don't think I've seen The Den. That one was actually pretty alright, but yeah, there are a lot of those movies coming out. So I think it's definitely an interesting discussion, and I think a lot of people's opinions will differ. Some people might even say we're in a golden age now, but I just don't think that there are enough like entertaining but still like gripping horror movies that are coming out, you know.
It seems like what they lack with substance they try to make up with like gore and with jump scares and like
and honestly a lot of the good ones are in the independent scene, so it's gaining popularity for sure. I mean, we did a whole episode on independent horror, so I think you guys all know our thoughts about that.
You should watch The Damned. That's an
independent.
The Damned?
Yeah. I always like skip by that one.
No, it's really good, bro. Okay. You'll really, really like it.
So, hear that, guys? The Damned, check it out. But yeah, I think, you know, indie movies are really kind of bringing it back. Like, they're the ones that are adapting all the like foreign horror elements the best, but because they're not like right in the
they're actually scary too.
They are actually scary and like they're really disturbing. Yeah.
Don't Knock Twice. Was Lights Out? What was Lights Out? That wasn't Blumhouse, was it?
It may. I think it was one of those, but I mean, even that's still not considered
Twice,
like
I don't think it was
major.
Don't Knock Twice Hollywood. Was, I think, Dimension Films, was it? I don't know,
probably.
But like those type of movies, you know. Like,
yeah, I agree.
You get for real though, The Damned. Like,
okay, I will check it out for sure. So that's kind of what I mean, I think that if these indie movies are able to kind of almost pass off as Hollywood, and I think that's coming, then I think that could definitely launch a new golden age if they kind of keep, expanding on those foreign horror elements more and more and more, and kind of make it their own. I think that's what's going to do it. So we'll see.
I think there has to be like, for it to be a golden age, we need to have like a consistent amount of movies that are fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They have rewatch value. Like we could watch them like every Friday night.
Yeah.
And like we don't plunge into every single character's psyche and then have a whole like a metaphorical analysis and evil personification that actually is the person's subconscious thoughts, like Babadook.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we did that already. Like,
Yeah.
Didn't that happen with the others?
I believe so.
So like, yeah, like chill.
Yeah. No, I like it when there's some like intrigue and you have to kind of figure shit out on your own almost, or that you don't even really care about how they're feeling. You just know that they're fucking in this terrible situation and they have to get out somehow.
You know what I think's gonna happen?
Like, okay.
I think we're gonna have like what I call a silver age in cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's gonna be looking to like emulate a certain style.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think one movie's gonna come out, or one or two movies eventually that kind of stand out.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna take the ball and like the main themes from those movies and like kind of run with it.
Yeah.
To try to start their own era.
Like stand out way more than any other horror movie has, in the last 5 years.
Like I think about it.
That's
when
what it has to be.
When you hear like really good stuff by critics, like on like commercials and
on,
shit
like, lots
about
of horror
a lot of horror movies,
yeah.
like the best movie of the year, like Get Out. Maybe.
Yeah, not really.
Get Out was super good.
Maybe Get Out. Yeah.
I loved Get Out.
But it also had the themes that made it relevant.
Split.
Yeah, Split was really good too.
That was fucking great.
A lot of people were talking about those movies, and even not completely in the horror community. So I think that's kind of what has to happen. But it has to be on like the Exorcist level. Like remember when that movie came out, and then next was kind of like the Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Like when those came out, they got so much attention as like the scariest movie
they don't
of
say
all
that.
time and shit like that.
They don't say that really about movies anymore. Like the last good thing I heard good things about Insidious initially, The Conjuring.
Yeah, not quite to that level though.
Yeah, The Possession. Those were like some that come to mind.
Yeah,
But
not to that level though.
But now it's all just blood and gore when it comes to these movies. Like I don't know.
Yeah, so I stand by it. I think that foreign horror movie
Bring back scarecrows. That's what'll bring it.
Yeah, there you go.
We need scarecrows.
I think that an independent horror film is going to do it, but I think one that is inspired by the foreign horror elements, but it is just as close to perfect as you can get.
I think people can't have there should be no limits when it comes to like making movies. Like it's an art form, like there's a lot of stuff that people don't want to do. Like people were talking shit about that movie, The House That Jack Built.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with American audiences. Like you're all so fucking sensitive. Stop fucking crying and just watch the movie. It's to like raise awareness. It's not to mock. Like
honestly, there's worse shit out there
that happens in real life. There's shit that happens in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
That people don't do shit about.
Yeah.
But they don't want to watch a movie about it, even though they won't.
I mean, look. Literally, the movie is about.
Well,
the movie is about a serial killer. Like it's about his life.
It happens.
And yes, there are real serial killers out there. And so this is what happens, basically. Like, yes, it's not real. And yes, we don't know exactly what goes on in like real life. But I mean, it's just an inspiration, like he wanted to explore the mind of a serial killer, which is fascinating. They're fucked up people, but it's fascinating. And that's what this movie is portraying.
People are saying it's like a exploitation film and all that bullshit. Shut the fuck up.
It's about the character's mind. Like you're trying to get into his head and see what he is thinking, because we don't know anything about these people, right?
Exactly.
We call them crazy, but they have thoughts. So I think that for that reason, like I think it's going to be pretty great. It's not going to jumpstart the next golden age, but it'll have people talking.
I think Hereditary might. I'm hopeful that.
Yeah.
Once we watch it,
depending on the critic response, depending on the number of people who go to watch it, and depending on the box office numbers, it very well honestly could be, because this movie has been hyped up not only in the horror community but like all over the place. So it's been called like the most terrifying movie of our age and shit. See, that's the kind of stuff that people need to be saying about a movie to make it that catalyst, you know, to like really start inspiring other filmmakers to just constantly put out quality movies.
Yeah, there has to be some competition,
you know?
like
exactly,
some solid competition. You have to care if your movie's garbage, because why would we go see a sequel?
You're not in a golden age if you're just like, oh, you remember Hereditary? But when we talk about the 80s, it's like, oh, you remember Freddy, Michael, Jason, you know, Leatherface, you know, Chucky, like all these fucking, all of them, right?
Pinhead.
Exactly. So you got to have like movies constantly like that'll get people rewatching them and get people talking about them. And it's not the word of mouth, you know?
There needs to be something new. Yeah. And so new that it doesn't matter that like it's not being pushed.
Right.
So just like what's in the movie is what gains the views, not like you know how much people like advertised it. Yeah, like I think we need to. I think randomly, one independent movie needs to be released per month. One independent horror movie needs to be released per month to a theater. Then we just watch it. If it becomes like super successful, ta-da! You know, like
I mean, it's kind of getting there with like A24, but they can't be the only company that's doing it. So like, you have Blumhouse and Ghost House Pictures and studios like that, but they're releasing all the Paranormal Activity type stuff. They're not releasing anything that's wholly original or unique, or that's going to get people talking like that. People need to go back to telling their friends and family about this, like word of mouth, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's definitely going to do it, because then people are going to be more inclined to go like, oh yeah, definitely. But if you're just scrolling past something on the internet that's like, yeah, Hereditary is the greatest movie ever, you're like, fuck this guy. You know,
for real.
Like, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to move on with my life and scroll down Facebook some more until I get bored, and then I'm going to open the app again when I'm bored again.
Jesus. Like,
fuck, you know. So it can't be stuff like that. Or even if you're scrolling through Reddit or something, there can only be so much online hype before people are just like, this is probably some trolling shit. But if you hear about it from real people in real life, you're probably gonna be more inclined to go see it. So that's another like characteristic I feel like of like a golden age, and so that's probably what we need again.
Yeah, emulation, rewatch value, consistent story.
Yeah,
and not a shit ton of prequels and sequels. That's the one thing they need to eliminate from making movies nowadays.
Yeah,
they always leave it open afterward.
Yeah,
which is good if they leave it open and they never explain it.
Yeah, or just resolve it. You know, like you should.
Yeah, not just like
one of the two.
But then once it's resolved, look at Insidious. Insidious Chapter 1, Chapter 2, then a prequel, then a prequel.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Because they don't want it to die. Like they want that. They want people to still experience that Insidious feel. Like, I'm watching an Insidious movie, but in reality, like,
it's not the same thing as like Friday the 13th though. You don't have like this iconic killer or anything. Like, it's a ghost movie. You can only have like so much before it just becomes dead, you know?
Yeah,
that's what I think anyway. But like with a slasher villain, I mean, that's like a character. That's an icon.
Yeah,
you know, people will be like, oh yeah, Michael's back, and they'll go see that movie. But you know, now it's not quite as exciting when you think of like Insidious. Like, there's a new Insidious. Did you hear about it? You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. When's it coming out? And then, you know, like a week before you remember that it's coming out, and then you go see it.
Exactly. You know what?
So
I think right now, either we need the independent movies at the forefront, or Blumhouse just needs to release something that's completely different from anything they've ever released.
Yeah, totally off the
they
wall.
Can do that.
Technically perfect.
Yeah, they're
an original, like, incredible story.
Because they're the GOATs right now.
Yeah, they need to just take the reins and go for it. Like, you don't have to release more like shitty ghost movies, and you don't have to keep releasing sequels. You have enough talented people on your team to like make something that's gonna just put horror like in the forefront again. You know, have horror win another Best Picture Oscar, right? The last one was like Silence of the Lambs.
Damn.
So if that happens, I think it's a lock.
Surprised the Woman in Black didn't get any awards for cinematography, because that's it was great. Aesthetically, that's one of the best movies I've ever watched.
Yeah, the cinematography was definitely the highlight, by being able to just like subtly put the woman in black like in the background, like to where you wouldn't even know unless you looked there.
And even
like, really hard,
the filler scenes when like the dad was driving down like the road, and like see that really really far back shot starts fading out, and like following the car. The camera starts following the car as like the camera pans out. Like it was just like, I don't know, like it felt like you were there. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it was
I know
just
what you mean.
like everything was like super visible. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like I just like those kind of movies, and like devil is in the details and the devil sells. So
No, yeah.
put in more details.
I would agree with that. So we'll see. I don't think that we're in one right now, but I think it's coming. Let us know what you guys think, because I feel like this is a super interesting discussion. Like I think we had a really good discussion just now, and I know that people probably are thinking the same thing, you know. And I think it's kind of confusing almost, because just of the number of horror movies that are coming out and being talked about, but then you kind of look back at them and you're like, well, I don't think that people will just always want to rewatch them or even really talk about them in such a positive light in like 20 years and be remaking these movies, you know. Like I don't really think that is something that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to remake Insidious or The Conjuring or The Strangers or...
Yeah, they are what they are.
What are they remaking again? They're remaking a recent movie, like a 2000s movie. I forgot what it was, but it was very recent. Like right now, if they remade I Know What You Did Last Summer, I'd be kind of mad.
Yeah, me too.
But think about it. Like when we were in 2004 is when like the remakes started coming. That was like 30 years after the original Texas Chainsaw came out. So like 20 years from like when whatchamacallit, from when I Know What You Did Last Summer came out. That would be pretty soon. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's like we would be like those
that's
angry...
like next year.
We'd be like those angry old guys that are like...
2 years.
They're running my movie.
Yeah.
I'd be one of those jaded old critics. It's like, why are you 80 years old watching movies? Go hug your kids. You're about to die soon.
Fuck, go to your deathbed. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it's a really interesting discussion, and please let us know your thoughts, and if you have any other like questions about how we feel about something we may not have addressed, let us know. I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up here. Thank you as always to Sports Radio Detroit, and if you like our content, be sure to check out the rest of our videos and like us and follow us on our social media. And where can they find us, Sam?
They can find us on Instagram, they can find us on Twitter, and they can find us on Facebook at Grave Discussions.
Yep, same thing, at Grave Discussions on all those sites. And just follow us. You can keep up to date on when we've dropped a new episode, and what else is going on.
If you want a shirt, we can sell you some shirts.
Yeah, we do have the shirt, if you guys haven't seen. I just have to have the printer create them, and we can send you a shirt if you really want. So that'd be cool. And then like we said last week, we're thinking about doing like a individual YouTube series for like just reviewing like new stuff that we've seen.
Yep. Oh yeah, quick 5-minute reviews.
Yeah.
Movies I've seen that he hasn't, and movies that he's seen that I haven't, or we both seen, but we don't want them to occupy an entire episode. Like maybe some like hidden, like I don't know, some movies that you probably never even heard of, or maybe did hear of.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go like super in depth in those. Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in something like that, do let us know. But yeah, that's going to do it. Let us know what you think about the next golden age of horror. And until then,
we'll see you next week on Grave Discussions.
This has been an SRD production.